So with subscription, as we have structured, there is a predictable life cycle of the product. You use this TV, no, not more, not less than 2 years, for example. Because brand has decided that that's how you get most of benefits from the program. So they have designed this attractive way. So what now happens is like brand will get a lot of TVs to mine to produce new products or put them on the refurbishment line. And second is like if you take now the initial transaction, what it takes there, like if the brand wants to give you a TV, he needs to understand a lot of things about you. Are you able to pay back monthly installments, what is agreed on, who you are you really you, etc. So meaning all those complexity which comes to the financing is solved by the banking partners we have integrated into our platform.
So, Hendrik, thank you so much for coming and meeting us. It's great meeting you this morning.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, just before we start, tell us just a little bit about you, who you are and what you do.
I'm Hendrik. Have been interested and passionate about financial technology, which goes around products already almost 2 decades. Have been doing businesses related to this across Europe, little bit also in States. Was part of the Y Combinator in 2016 summer batch, etc. So have been on this space for a long time.
Right.
And last more than 4 years, we have built out a subscription platform called Fairown, which helps brands and retailers turn more circular, so enable circular economy for the physical products. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So I'd like to unpack that a little bit more as we go along, because there's a number of interesting concepts that you mentioned there. But before we get to that, tell us what is Fairown's core value proposition and what problem is it solving in the market?
So Farron is a financial technology company enabling circular economy. So linear economy is the one which we see around us now, where the products are produced and it takes like 95% energy cost to produce a product, like from the 100%, 95 is on production. And now this product is used by you. Would it be this one on the table or this one on the wall? Nevertheless, they are used sometime and then they are like forgotten. So you don't want to use them anymore because they become slow. You put them on the drawer, you try to give it to your kid, but he or she don't want it, etc. And this goes basically waste. The value goes waste. A lot of silicon chips are going to waste, lot of metal frames, everything what could be useful. It could be useful for the next user, it could be useful for to use again to produce a new product, but we are wasting it. That's called the linear economy.
Right.
So we are now bending this linear line into circle, which basically enables the brands who initially produce those products, would it be Apple's or would it be Samsung's or LG's, get those products back to the different kind of production line, not the one which is taking metals and making a product, but the one which is taking old products and enables them to have old products, to mine old products to make new products. So they would first innovate, they would make the revenues their own shareholders, but they would also become more circular.
Right.
Because currently they have no way to see their own production ever.
Okay. And perhaps for people that have not heard the term of circular economy before, can you explain what's the difference between a circular economy and what we have come to know as recycling?
Like circular economy is a concept of having no waste.
Yeah.
In that sense that you have a product, it's used, it's recycled, and the components are reused again. So meaning that it's like a closed loop. Nothing drops out of this loop.
Okay.
If you take now recycling, recycling is just specific process, which can happen also and should happen within the circular economy. Right. But it's just basically recycling means taking this product into components and using those components like somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But there is a recycling, there is a refurbishing, they are all elements of circular economy.
Got it.
That's the main difference.
Okay. And then let's just unpack one of the other concepts that you introduced at the very beginning, which is the subscription economy. I think we all are familiar with some subscription services. We have Netflix and we have Apple and Spotify and that sort of things. But can you define in your terms, what do you mean by subscription when you talk about subscription platform?
I was looking for this definition for a quite long time. Uh-huh. And surprise, where did I found it? I found it from Wikipedia.
Right.
Because people all often talk about subscription, but when they talk about subscription, they think about the rental, they think about all kinds of things. But when you look a little bit more closely, what it means tells in Wikipedia, it's paying for access to some kind of value. So it comes from newspapers, so meaning you pay the monthly subscription to have a newspaper coming to your post box. Like that was historically where the word got started. And now we got used to have those digital services as a subscriptions, like a Netflix and the Spotify and etc. And paying for the access is basically how it's defined. And now when you take the physical products, how do you can enable it for those ones, the TVs and the laptops and the phones and the gaming PCs and the fridges and the appliances and all those stuff what we all have in homes, for example. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? What are the options? And then you come into the concepts like what possibly could be there. Like would it be leasings? Would it be rentals? Would it be buy now, pay later with something else, etc. So subscription is access to value, if you wish, to have this definition outlined as it is.
Okay, and so how does Fairown enable its customers to benefit from the subscription economy?
So if we look who are our customers are brands, retailers, the ones who actually know those products best. Mm-hmm. And they kind of know already a long time ago that customers are watching Netflix. That's not the news for them. The question is how do I make my TV, use my TV as a Netflix program? How do I do a laptop like that, phone like that, etc. So the demand from the consumers has been there already some time. The ability to fulfill this demand haven't been there so far because we are still know that most of the products are purchased regular way, you just online, offline, whatever the channel is. But how do we enable it is basically we are the turnkey solution. So if they want to hey, I'm, for example, Samsung, and I want to offer my TV plus speakers as a subscription for my customer where they watch it like a TV couple of years and then switch it for the new one. So we enable to plug and play this solution across 8 markets, currently soon more markets, so they can run those programs on our platform.
Right. Okay. So I think we're going to be jumping back and forth between subscription and between circularity, because I think there's a number of things here to clarify. So the question I have is, if I was cynical about the way in which we produce products, I would say that the whole idea of not being able to circulate a product is a feature of the business model, right? The obsolescence is built into many of the things that we buy because that's how companies make money. Now, how do you combine scalability with the idea of circularity, and how can companies grow, steal their profits and their margins, and keep their stakeholders happy in a circular economy?
That's a very good question. So it depends how the circular economy is delivered. It can be delivered a couple of different ways. As I mentioned, there is a rental model, there is a leasing model, there is a like the model what we are doing. So basically our model enables brands still to keep the sales revenue, because that's how the income statements and balance sheets are built up. So for them the shift is simple from the sales side, and they have enough time because there is a cycle, so the products are not gonna come to the brand back like tomorrow. Like with the rental model, you give some product to customer, you don't know when he gives it back to you because it's a rental. It might happen tomorrow, it might happen never. So with subscription, as we have structured, there is a predictable life cycle of the product. You use this TV, no, not more, not less than 2 years, for example. Because brand has decided that that's how you get most of benefits from the program. So they have designed this attractive way. So what now happens is like brand will get a lot of TVs to mine to produce new products or put them on the refurbishment line. And second is like if you take now the initial transaction, what it takes there, like if the brand wants to give you a TV, he needs to understand a lot of things about you. Are you able to pay back monthly installments, what is agreed on, who you are you really you, etc. So meaning all those complexity which comes to the financing is solved by the banking partners we have integrated into our platform. So imagine that we come to new market, we first integrate with the banking partner who will do all the needed checks plus all the financing too. And now this integration is in the place, and brand typically is selling globally. So our customers are the ones who have like 100 or 150 different markets, each having different regulations, each having different like nuances if you want to credit somebody. So basically we have the local experts, we have the local banks integrated into our platform on one hand, and the other hand is like the ones who have the huge distribution power, like the Samsungs and the LGs and the Apples and those kind of players.
Right.
So they can design the end user offering on our platform, and the banks are the one doing the financial risk-based assessment, so basically deciding who gets it, who doesn't get it, this plan.
Right. Okay, that's really interesting. So, if let's get really practical. So, for me as a consumer, as someone that buys electronics and clothes and maybe a TV every few years, what benefit can I experience, or what will I be able to do differently thanks to the availability of services like Fairown that I couldn't do before?
I will bring you a practical example from one of our first global customers. There is a tool company, Stihl, in Germany, who is producing from chainsaws to all kinds of stuff. And they are also like a very big player in robot lawnmowers. The ones which, if you have a private house and you don't want to lawn your grass, basically, then you get this machine.
Yeah.
If you want to get this machine, it takes, somebody needs to actually come and put the wire around your garden so the machine would know where where to go.
Right.
And what you should also do is like in the winter time, for example, it needs some maintenance. It should be, and because Danish people, for example, they have like rather small houses. They don't want to have this thing lying around in the winter, taking a garage space. So what Stihl designed on our platform is a concept called Stihl All-Inclusive, which basically means that they will take the product, they will take the installation service, they will take the winter storages for 4 years, combine it together into one bundle. Let's say it costs like 2,000 euros or whatever it is equivalent in the Danish kronas, because we started it from Denmark actually.
Right. Okay.
3 years ago. And now the bundle is published. The bundle has like attractive monthly price point, and the value proposition is basically click this button, you have all this covered, and you never need to pay the full bundle value, because what we do is we will split this bundle value with 60 equal payments and so 5 years. And we tell you that you can use this bundle 4 years. Then Stihl comes to you, basically tells that, hey, we have new robots, they are much more smarter. We will please choose, do you want to have a X, Y, Z model? And we will bring it to you with all the services, and we will pick up your old one, and you are done. Basically, as simple as that. And what our platform means basically that Stihl has almost nothing. There are no integrations between us and the Stihl. Basically, all this program runs on our platform. So they gave us basically pictures and the price points, and the dealers who are coming there to do the work.
Right.
So basically, what do we do is when you know there is Stihl all-inclusive.dk, Sweden, Finland, etc. So basically local domains. And they are inviting traffic into those pages, like Facebook ads or whatever. You see that, hey, this monthly price, you get everything included, and you don't basically need to worry as a consumer. Stihl keeps you up to date with their own production line, and you have a nice lawn, and that's it. Okay. You click the button, you choose basically how big is your yard, what machine it needs to be. The dealer gets notification that, hey, it's chosen, please go and fulfill this order in this house, and the Farron sends money to this dealer for the bundle, basically.
Right. Okay, so if I understand this correctly, then you're basically transforming the ownership model. You're turning certain things that we've come to be used to owning into a service, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's basically called the circular economy in that sense, bending the circular, because otherwise the robot, otherwise the phone, otherwise the underlying product would have been just staying there. Nobody knows what would have happened with them.
Yes, of course. Well, that's a really, really interesting model. Let me then ask you.
Yes.
In your website, you talk about this is a circular economy and subscription platform for environmentally conscious companies.
Yes.
So the question I have for you is, can any company be part of the circular economy, or is this reserved for a certain profile or typology of companies?
The products need to have quality. For example, Stihl is a good example. So we built up this program. What it means now, Stihl has access of predictable amounts of used robots 4 years from now. Initially, there is 100 robots. They have nothing to do with them. That we are coming in, who is basically finding next home to those robots and solving this. When comes 10,000 robots back, by that time they already have an assembly line in place for the new factory what they're building. So basically what they can do now is they can skip buying from China the metal, they can skip buying the precious metals or chips from wherever they are buying it from. They can just take everything from their own robot, use as much as they can, and here you go. You have Stihl owners can have sales revenue without generating waste.
Right. You're essentially changing something in the way in which the end consumer is used to operate. You're changing a behavior, or you're offering something that requires a behavioral change from the customer. So what are the challenges that you've encountered in bringing a product to market that requires a significant shift in the way in which people consume products?
The main reason why we are working with these big brands is that the consumers already trust those big brands. So if we are bringing our solution to you on Apple homepage, on a Stihl homepage, on a LG homepage, We give you like a good argumentation in also like affordability perspective, sustainability, circularity perspective. Yeah, we know that all the consumers are not going to change the ways they are consuming. There are still principles of early adapters, so you need to capture more than 10% to get to masses in a couple of years. And we have done it. So basically we have captured in those channels our solution is available. So the brands who have integrated it with it, they're capturing like a massive amount of their own sales under those programs.
Right.
So the main, like if you ask what is the main problem, I would say it takes time to consumers to like understand it, to understand that that's why, for example, our program has different names in different partners. So Steel calls it all inclusive. So think about the hotel where everything is included. For a monthly, for a price point, and you basically just care about your lawn being nice. That's basically the underlying value proposition. And you want, like, do you really want to think about the services, what you need to get this thing done? Do you want to choose them? Do you want to find them, negotiate them, etc.? Like, all-inclusive kind of feels better.
Right.
So if customer get it, then good to go. Second one. Second largest consumer electronics retailer, Komplett, who is especially biggest in Norway, but they are second biggest across Nordics. So they integrated with us into Komplett.Norway and Komplett.Sweden. Webhallen is to follow on this autumn. Concept called Flex, which basically means that you can get your iPad with a purchase, or you can take it on a flex. What the flex means basically that you get the product, but you also get some additional flexibility, which basically means you use it a couple of years and then Komplett invites you to choose your new iPad, and you get your new iPad, then you do the data transfer, etc., and then you hand back the used iPad to us, basically, which will now offset your outstanding balance for the used iPad if you kept in a good working condition and sent it to us.
We've seen that perhaps sometimes with the subscription economy, there's an issue with cancellations, right? Once I get a service, I realize that I haven't used it, I cancel it, and then winning that customer back becomes quite challenging for organizations. So how does Fairown deal with this cancellation issue that we see within subscriptions?
Now it comes back to the definition. What the subscription was access to value. It doesn't always mean that this access for the value needs to be like fully flexible, do whatever you want. Because if you want to provide something like that, for the digital assets, it's more easier. Because it's once produced, and they basically, if I want to watch this movie, like nobody needs to reproduce this movie because I want to watch it. With the hardware, it's different. Because it has a lot of work already put into this. So basically, what we are doing is we are putting this flexibility into like a frame. So yes, you can get out of this plan early or late, but then you basically end up paying the retail value of whatever was there, or basically you are getting less savings if you don't follow this program. If you follow basically the recommended cycle of usage, which is given to you by the brand who actually knows this product better. He knows the warranty, he knows even the screws, what they use to put it together. He knows what's going to happen with it. He will give you the best practice. He will give you this timeline, what you should use it as a first user. And then they take it back and make it ready for the next user. If you use it too long, it's no good for the, school kid who wants to have it as a first device, for example. So if you it's not about providing ultimate flexibility. It's about being a good citizen in that sense, taking good care of the 95% of the energy what was put into this product. So it's less to do with, hey, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
It's more to do like, hey, it was like expensive thing for the environment to put together this product, because just giving you one example, if you take iPhone, can you guess how much water is used to produce one iPhone? 80,000 liters.
80,000 liters per
Yes.
iPhone?
Yes, and that's on your, it's on your table basically. It's 80,000 liters, 80,000 resources of our joint. Like water is not coming from anywhere. It's like our water on the globe, and you have it. And now you better take a good care of this product. What's on your possession, and use it according to the guidelines of the one who actually made it. And then hand it further in a good working condition for the next user who can still use it for a couple of years. And then let's make sure that it doesn't stay in somewhere like, I threw it in the box for the extra phone. Like, it's like 80,000 of liters now. It's there. It's losing value. That is, and if it goes to the, waste just like that, it will end up also in the landfill, and so you end up generating even more problem than you took 80,000 liters of water and that here it is.
Wow, that really puts things into perspective. Let's switch gears a little bit now. I want to ask you, what would you say is the difference between a fintech that is part of a circular economy and another type of fintechs?
I would even put the fintechs into like more wider categories. So meaning there are companies who are built to profit their owners, profit their investors, profit basically the ultimate beneficiaries of those companies, let's put it. And they are doing it by providing value to a customer. For example, selling something. I bought the coffee downstairs. They sold me coffee. I gave them money. Basically, they gave me value. They can give the return to the coffee shop owner. Basically, there are that kind of companies, and I would say that currently in the current world, it seems that like those are the most kind of businesses. There is no other dimension there. But with Fairown, and there are not only us, but there are companies who have something more higher as a purpose.
Right.
So we want to bring return to beneficiaries of our company, but it's not why we're here. There is something more, and for us it's a circular economy. I would say that for some companies, for example, like enable like inclusion, for example, financial inclusion, like people who don't have access to the banking services and bring the access. I could say those financial technology companies are doing it because of doing good, not only because of like
good profit.
Yes. So I would say that we believe that more value is in this category. For example, if you take Klarna. Klarna was there to enable customers to try before they buy, basically. That was the initial value proposition. It's kind of like when the internet came, you wanted to order something, it was basically making a breach of trust between the seller and the buyer. Otherwise it wouldn't happen. I would call it in some sense like historically it was good, now it's overconsumption, so it kind of went to the kind of sideways. But nevertheless, the overall initial idea there was good.
Right.
So I would say there are, like, if you look closely, there are difference between the company who is there to make money, or the company there who is like really building some additional good for the environment, for the people around us, etc.
So fintech with a purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Okay, just to close, tell us what's your vision for Farron, and what role do you expect it to play in the larger fintech ecosystem within the next 5 years?
I would say that the fintech ecosystem is maybe even like too narrow. I would say that we want to be the single contact point for the brands who want to run their subscriptions across the world. Yeah, initially, if you take 5-year vision, etc., then we are probably covering Europe.
Yeah.
Maybe also doing something in States. But the idea is that if you are good in producing your products, like that's the core business what you are good at. Like you can make a really nice iPad, you can make a really nice camera or stand. Do that, integrate our platform, and then you can build much deeper relationship with your users who are subscribing for the value of Canon, for the value of Apple, for the value of HP, whatever the brand is. And we are there to enable it.
Yeah.
So that's what we do, because it's so much easier to use us than to build out all this infrastructure what we have made possible across 8 markets so far and going further.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a fantastic ambition to have. And Hendrik, it's been really nice meeting you. Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank you.
All right.